Hey guys, I haven't made a video in a while, so this is a little bit weird, but I was working on editing today and I figured while I'm in here, while I have some makeup on, I can make a quick little cute video. So you can see me recording my audio in the background because my laptop's already set up, so I'm not moving anything, I'm just using the background behind me to record. I figured I'd let myself talk about whatever I want today, which is a big responsibility on my part because I don't really know what I want to talk about. I have many things I could talk about, so I kind of forgot I had this, but since I do, I can look it up. I've been on the habit of being very depressed lately, or also losing my confidence a lot, so I don't really know what I'm going to call this yet, but I kind of wrote some notes on what I noticed about what's happening within that and how I felt. And so yeah, here's kind of the list. I'll just read that out. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but maybe this video will help you. We'll see. Things I've noticed: losing confidence when I'm depressed. So this usually happens when I'm faced with old or big trauma / triggers that come forth. So for me lately, I've had a lot of family trauma and triggers. I don't know about you guys, but especially for me, when it's something like family related, or especially with my parents, you guys kind of know a little bit of what I've gone through in the past with that. Anytime my parents are brought into a situation, I feel like my depression just swarms over me so quickly, especially when any of those triggers hit. Which is something that has hit me more recently lately, and it's been kind of hard for me to cope with. Whenever I feel powerless to control anything in my life. Anytime my life starts kind of spiraling out of control, when I stop being able to control specific things in my life, like let's say my job or my environment of my home, my surroundings, things like that, it just gets really difficult to feel like I can do anything or I'm capable of anything anymore. And so I start kind of getting this negative outlook that nothing's ever going to be okay and nothing that I can do will change it. So I start getting very frustrated with myself or my situation. And again, kind of leads to that spiraling I was talking about. Next, I start being really mean to myself, attacking myself verbally, mentally, and becoming my own worst enemy. When these things start happening is whenever my noggin goes into like this full sadness, and I guess maybe from either what I've heard other people tell me or things that my mind's been poisoned to believe, I just start getting really nasty to myself, like being really hurtful or mean. And I know I'm not the only one that does this. I can never really figure out the time and moment before, like what point it hits to where I start doing that all of a sudden. Again, it's kind of the confusing blurred line, but it's something that when it happens, it's very hard to turn back the dial and get back on track. When someone around me stops supporting me or shows how little they care, and then in parentheses I do care what people think. This is really interesting as being a YouTuber too, because putting yourself on a platform is a place where you expect that you're gonna be getting, I guess, judged. The easiest way to put it, you're going to be judged, put on the internet. People are going to put it outright because they're behind a screen, they're gonna say what they think, and that's that, and that's fair. So yeah, whenever I start losing support of people from either around me in my family life, which I talked about that before, or people online is kind of hard if I'm interested in talking to somebody, or somebody just says a mean comment, something like that. I don't personally like everybody in my surroundings, so it only makes sense that not everyone's gonna like me, right? That's just how it goes. Doesn't change that I think everyone out there, to a certain extent, cares about what people think, even if we say well, I'm not gonna let it affect me fully. Yeah, no matter what anyone says, I'm still gonna keep on track and keep on going and putting my best foot forward to, be myself and be creative and happy. But again, it doesn't change that hurt within myself whenever somebody doesn't like me. It kind of leads you into the path of like, well, what am I doing wrong? Or how can I be better? Or like, what's, you know, the whole idea of like, what's wrong with me? Why don't they like me? It easily leads me into that path of despair and sadness. The next thing I have written down is, it gets very hard to stay focused on simple tasks or even getting out of bed. When I'm depressed, there's almost no sense of like clarity in my head. I get very stuck on even completing simple things like getting out of bed for the day, brushing my teeth, taking the dogs out on like their morning walk or whatever. The smallest things start to become such a big like mental, I don't know, freak out or frustration. It's so irritating because I feel like it gets in the way of me just having normal life, normal day to day, like just doing the regular stuff. There are so many other things that have been kind of affecting me lately, or how my depression kind of gets in the way, or whenever I'm losing my confidence or losing motivation, etc. There's a lot more things I could add to that list, and I'm sure that you've recognized things within yourself too that affect you. So if you have anything else you want to list with your own experiences on that, go ahead and put that down below. But the next bit I kind of want to put is like what's been helping me to kind of get better and get out of the rut, so to speak. So what's been helping me? Hanging with people who love me and understand me. So for me, the biggest influences in my life right now are my boyfriend, my best friend, and then my brother. Of course, there are many more people that could fit. I'm just not going to name everybody. This whole community is super beautiful. So if you're a part of that, you're already like within the group, I'd say. But the main people that really help me to stay grounded in my life are those 3 people, and I thank the goddess that they're still in my life to this day, because I don't know how I would do anything without them. I really appreciate and love you guys so much, so thanks for helping me to not lose my head and go crazy. The next one is doing what I can in small steps. When I do have a spot of mini motivation, or if I feel better, I use that as quickly as I can to have some productivity. So anytime I have a split second of feeling like, well, I could do this today, I do it all at once. I would do everything that I can, so that way, you know, I mean, some people would say that's wasteful, like you're overdoing yourself, but for me, like, that's the only way I know I'll get things done during that time of like just muck, I guess. So as soon as I feel that little slight amount of motivation, I just do as much as I can, and then if I get tired, I feel so happy afterwards because I'm like, yes, I did the things I needed to do, at least a little bit. Next is letting myself mourn and be sad when I need to, really feeling the pain of the situation without being angry or taking it out on myself. So like I was saying earlier, I have a really big problem of taking everything out on myself whenever I'm going through a stressful situation, or if I can't control my situation around me. Instead of taking it out on myself personally, I allow myself to feel the pain of the situation and understand my anger, my sadness, my worry, whatever is going on in my brain at that time. I let myself feel it. I don't take it out on myself. Or if I notice I've been taking it out on myself, I apologize to myself and, you know, continue on, or allow myself to mourn that. I think that is such an important step because it's kind of allowing acceptance of your situation. The next step, I'm so bad with this, but drink more water. I get so easily dehydrated. It's not even funny. I almost passed out twice, once during high school before I went to school, and then another time I almost passed out at work. Like, I couldn't feel my legs anymore, and it's because of dehydration. So drink more water. Me too, I need to. Next is cuddle with my pets or hold a stuffed animal. This is so helpful for me because, especially if it's pets, they're there for you, and I feel like theirs is one of the few unconditional love that I've experienced on Earth. So having that is just really nice, and my dogs always put a smile on my face. If you have a stuffed animal, that works as well. Although they can't really interact back with you necessarily, it's nice to just be able to hold something and kind of feel safe and like a kid again. The next thing is lighting a candle for comfort, remembering who you are, and using a mirror if you can. So this is kind of like a meditative step, I guess, but you don't necessarily have to meditate for it. I find lighting a candle for me is very comforting for some reason, and then if I have a mirror before me, it kind of gives me a place to look at myself and connect with who I am again. This can be a very difficult or hard step, so if you can't really find yourself facing yourself in the mirror, I understand if that's a difficult thing, but for me, it kind of helps me to reconnect with myself and be like, okay, yeah, getting back on track. Who am I? What am I here for? What are we doing? And the candle is just kind of a sense of warmth for myself. It reminds me of like my passion and inner desire. What do I want to do again? The next one is separating that mean entity that is within me and using kind of a code name or like a specific name for that. So what I mean by that is, ever since I was younger, I've hated the name Becky, nickname Becky, because my name's Rebecca, if you don't know. I started deciding to do this a little while ago, and it's kind of helpful. I notice whenever someone calls me Becky, I get like this really just feeling, like I hate it, right? It's kind of just like an annoying thing, an annoyance too. And so what I started doing is associating the negative mindset within myself, the one that is just being mean to myself all the time, saying like, oh, you're never going to be capable of this, you can't do that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I started calling her Becky because honestly, we don't care about what Becky has to say. She's stupid, her name's stupid, and so what she says doesn't matter. And I just found it funny it kind of makes me laugh because it's like, we don't care because Becky's ridiculous. Like, her name's ridiculous. And I'm sure everyone out there has a name that somebody's called you that you hate. Start using that name for the negative mindset that you have over yourself, and when you're saying something mean to yourself, like, oh, I'm so worthless or whatever, be like, well, that's a Becky mindset right there. We don't need Becky. Becky's dumb. Okay, we don't mess with Becky. She's stinky. We leave behind that stink, okay? Next, I have been trying to do activities that either bring me joy or used to bring me a lot of joy and reignite the passion of that. So doing old things that I used to do, like drawing or painting or whatever, I just try and do those again and see if I can reignite the passion that I had for those subjects. And then tailing off of that last one, the next one is try new things that you wanted to learn to do, and that also reignites a new passion. So try something you've never done before that you've been interested in, or like let's say you're interested in drawing but you only use markers. Instead of doing that, try and use watercolor or something you've never done before within your artwork, and try and reignite the passion within that, or an interest for trying something new. The next one is trying to clean up my space or my area and kind of like creating sacred space within that. I get really messy when I'm depressed or when I'm feeling low, so as difficult as it is, when I can make a moment to clean any amount, it makes me feel so much better. And I'm sure all of you have felt that too, so you know what I'm talking about on that one. The next one is taking self-care and me time, whatever that means to you, recharge and reset. I'm kind of glad lately the culture has been, or like the popular thing has been, to have self-care. So you see a lot of people do baths or meditation or, I don't know, yoga, whatever the heck helps you, Netflix, whatever, I don't know. But do that for yourself. For me, it's playing video games. I love playing video games. Have done it as a coping mechanism since I was a wee little gal. Whatever self-care means to you, do that for you, and do it when you can. So this is the last kind of step in the things that have been helping me. And it is, remember that what you're going through is temporary right now. This is a hard step because when I'm going through something, I just feel every single aching pain of it, and it sucks and I hate it. And it feels like it's taking forever and time is going by slower, but not in a good way. It's just like you're sitting in it, in the filth of it, and you can't get out. But it's always important to remember that this is just something temporary in your life, it will pass, like other things have passed that you've gone through. Remember moments you've gone through that are really difficult that you made it through. You're a survivor, my friend, and I know that you can do this again. And I know this is a difficult time, I know it's frustrating, I know things are out of control or seemingly out of your control, but it's gonna be okay because you're strong and you're wonderful, smart, beautiful, or handsome, whatever you want to call it. And most importantly, you're capable. You've made it up to this point, so there's nothing that can stop you now other than yourself. So don't let yourself stop yourself, because you can do whatever the heck you want. I think you guys all out there have so many gifts and blessings to share with this world, and I personally can't wait for you to get out there and share them. Just because you're going through a moment of stillness or lack of motivation or sadness, of mourning, of anger, whatever is bothering you in this time, it will pass and you will get back on your feet, and soon you'll be able to shine bright and share your beauty with everyone. And I just want to let you know that not only myself, but there are so many people in this community that we've created of the Cosmic Tribe that are here for you and will talk to you. And if you really need to share what you're going through or have someone else to just connect with over what you're going through, go ahead and put it down below in the comments. I know you guys will be there for each other and connect with each other, and I'll be here too. If I see your comments, I will comment on them below. I try my best to answer them when I can. I'm not always the best about it, but yeah, just know that I really do care for you guys, and I thank you guys for being a part of this community. We are all together in this crazy universe and world, so let's try and make the best of it. I've been rambling for long enough. I hope you guys the best, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Much love. Bye.